Our semifinals matches, and it's the Odin's Headhunters versus Ice Age here in the Canes division. Time to figure out who's going to make it in our final slot going out next week. I'm Zach Vexel. Joining me today is Ruler of Men. How are we today?
We're not dead yet, so we are here to cast. I already got some bands coming out, and
All the bands coming out.
I can't find anything, too crazy.
No, everything here makes sense right now. Raven, probably the best jungler in the game, without a doubt. Come on. Ridiculous pressure that this god can apply. Achilles did really well with his buffs as well. No surprise there. Kukulkan doing really well. I'm seeing absolutely no issue with any of these bans right now. Athena, global pressure. The Nike, she's annoying. Get her out of here. Ao Kwang is a very, I think, probably the most unique of all of these, but I still don't see a problem with it. You get that execute out of there. You get that scalability from this god out of there. No sweat, no problem. The Ganesha gets locked in the first slot for the Odin's Headhunters, though, and probably behind Athena is sitting here at this next best support slot in the game.
Yeah, you can't go wrong with the Ganesha. Just the entire, you don't get to play the game for the other team. Just I'm gonna throw out down some Dharmic pillars, and nobody's gonna have fun. Hercules comes through. That's a scopy special if I've ever seen one. Going to be seeing a lot of aggression out of that solo lane.
Yeah, I'm really expecting to see a lot between the Ganesha and the Hercules going back and forth, seeing who can whittle down whose utility first in order to make the first big play. And it looks like a Geb Hover and a Geb Slam on our other better end of the sit back support style. I'm going to peel for my backline. Anybody comes in, well, we're going to drop Cataclysm, but he can also play that aggressive front, getting in there and using his Cataclysm, using that knock up, using that shield on a Hercules who might be going a little bit too deep into a Ganesha. Being able to just have a lot of utility, I think, is going to utilize or will allow these teams to play these team fights in multiple different ways, approach it from different angles.
Yeah, definitely. Geb and Hercules very flexible. Like you said, they can be aggressive. You can get the Blink Cataclysm. You can get Herc just, 1v5ing. Or they can be punishing your mistakes. You get pulled in by the Hercules, and all of a sudden you're cataclysmed under a tower, and you don't have any options. So definitely a versatile front line coming out. And then we see Chernobog. That god is banned every game. How did he get through?
Well, I mean, when you're looking at all of these other bands, how didn't he get through? I think High Res is going to be coming down with another set of additional bans coming out soon with the amount of gods that we got to remove and the amount of gods coming into the game. But for now, we end up getting Chernobog. So global pressure, god who can just get back to lane or get across the map. Where do you want to pressure? Do you want to maybe split push a little bit? Hopefully not after the games that I watched yesterday. But that was a Jingwei mid. We don't talk about those. Kukulkan getting locked in our last slot here in the first phase for the Odin's Headhunters, and over on the other side, Ice Age locks in the Hachiman. Kukulkan, who can apply a lot of pressure early game once he gets that transformation off, turning into a raging monster and just shoving it down the face of this Hercules. I think that's going to be the one time where he's going to be able to build up pressure against this god. And then the Hachiman, who can be very safe and just ride out on that mounted archery or scale up into the late game real nicely. Just a well-rounded pick, but not a lot of pressure for the dual lane of the Ice Age in comparison to the Odin's Headhunters.
Yeah, definitely a much more passive of a duo lane. A lot of safety, but I mean, they're certainly gods that scale very well at the same time, so not going to be looking too bad after that, level 6, level 7 support start rotating out. It's not going to be a big deal.
Global pressure getting removed from both of these teams. Janus in the mid lane over on the side of the Odin's Headhunters, and Ratatasker over on the side of the Ice Age. This is a pick that we normally see get banned out in the first phase. So again, another one who made it through to the second phase, but ended up getting removed anyway. Naja applies a lot of pressure. Poseidon, a really good matchup with, what are you going to do? Plug somebody into the Whirlpool Kraken. You're going to Cataclysm them into Whirlpool Kraken. But we're just going to knock him out of this game anyway. Thor gets locked in for the Ice Age. Over in this first pick out of the second phase, you get that global pressure, that Anvil of Dawn coming down really anywhere you want. You need a lot deeper vision if you want to defend against this character.
Yeah, definitely. I like the Thor to kind of counteract what the Cherno is able to do. Not quite able to go as far, but certainly very potent with his ability to gank off that Anvil of Dawn. And then Hades Fenrir. Hades certainly an interesting hover, but it looks like we might see some beads burning come out. Hunbot's looking, Hades hovering. That is a lot of beads to deal with.
Yeah, the Fenrir is in a bit of a difficult position on who are you going to grab that isn't going to get Geb shielded. The best person would be the Geb, in those instances of, okay, we're going to punish this support in the early game, not allow him to get to the late game, but Geb's that kind of character who just does what he does throughout any point in the game. Whether he's ahead or behind, he's still going to get that shield off. He's still going to get that cataclysm off. He's still going to knock you up. He's still going to roll around the map and just get somewhere with that fast rotate pressure. So it is going to be the Hunbots who gets locked in instead, and a Baba Yaga gets switched off over for the Odin's Headhunters. A lot of sustain in this mid lane. It's going to be a very tanky backline for the Odin's Headhunters when you're trying to dive a Ganesha Baba Yaga. Okay, I don't want to do that. And then over on the Ice Age's side, they end up locking in the Agni for their final pick slot.
Yeah, Agni definitely a Nova Shark specialty. Certainly has put out numbers on it in the past, so not too surprising to see it come out of there. Other than that, though, I mean, these teams relatively balanced. I think I might have just a slight edge towards the Ice Age. Even against the Baba Yaga, I think Baba Yaga is great, but I just love Geb Thor.
Yeah, Geb Thor really just burning the pressure or burning the beads, applying pressure. You got that global potential. You got the ability to just kind of switch it up. What I'm going to be interested to see is how the Ice Age sets up their relics here. I think that's really going to determine how they want to play this draft. But then I look over on the other side and I do see this Hunbot's Baba Yaga Ganesha combination that we have going on here with a Kukulin ravaging the backline. Just like Kukulin and Hunbots alone, that's going to create so much space and so much pressure to allow the carries for the Odin's Headhunters to be able to just get in there and do whatever they want. You lock somebody in with the Dharmic Pillars, and then all of a sudden, here comes Kukulin raging in over the top of you, and then boom, right in smack dab middle of that, you got to fear no evil.
Yep, or you're just, flailing wildly against these Baba Yaga puddles from Home Sweet Home. They certainly have a lot of dangers that they're going to have to get past to be able to dive the Headhunters.
Yeah, we're really going to make sure to keep an eye out on where it is the Odin's Headhunters want to be applying this pressure and then how it is the Ice Age is going to be responding. I almost want to see Ice Age take the aggressive front to really show Odin's Headhunters that, okay, we're not going to allow you to get that global rotation off from the Chernobog. We're going to shove it down somewhere, and hopefully, I want to say over in the dual lane, we're going to be seeing that pressure and just keeping it up on this Chernobog. If you can force his ult on cooldown, you can force him to play your game at that point. And then, he's not going to be rotating across the map to your solo lane, invading blue buffs, or over to the mid lane, coming into these beacon fights too quickly with that ultimate. All in all, just get that global ult off the map.
Yeah, definitely. You take those global alts off the map, and all of a sudden, Chernobog is, he's alright as an ADC, but it really is his ultimate that kind of carries him into that top tier. So if they're able to just kind of pressure him out, force his ult out in bad situations, and not let him use it aggressively, they should find a lot of success.
We're going to see who finds out who has that kind of success as we move on into game number 1 of Odin's Headhunters versus Ice Age here in the semifinals of the Canes division. Nothing too crazy going on. We're seeing very standard pickups right here. You got the Bluestone over in the solo lane versus the Warriors X. Really, it's just a what do you feel like building over here kind of thing.
Yeah, but Kukulin has gooseberries. That's not too strange. He can't stack bow because he doesn't, use mana. So not necessarily unorthodox. Just a little interesting. Gonna have to see him getting those big meaty autos in.
Hey man, whatever helps you clear, especially into a Hercules, he's just gonna kind of push the wave back towards his tower line anyway, which is going to be real frustrating to deal with. So I can't blame him on that front. I'm almost wondering though if a tankier approach would have been a little bit better. He's going to get the HP 5 though from that blue buff, which is going to help him out, and hopefully it goes well for him. Hopefully he can survive this early bit right here, which is where we're going to see the pressure. This is where the Hercules needs to take charge right before the Kukulin gets that transformation off, which will be happening relatively soon.
Yeah, ticking right up towards that 85 mark already. One more ability should do it, but not looking too healthy over there. Kind of getting bullied out by that that Hercules.
He might be in a difficult position, but it looks like Scopey ended up just backing off. Didn't want to apply that kind of pressure into a Raging Kakolan. I don't really blame him. You're going to get displaced the same way that you want to be displacing other people. You know, you're like, Hercules, this is my job. I want to be pushing people around. Please don't do that to me.
Yeah, definitely. As soon as he does get that transformation, he is in fact formidable. A lot of low health bars in this mid lane too. Thor
Thor
not
hammering
quite
on
on
in.
the mark.
Just
Not going to
barely.
spell anything for him though. Hunbots doesn't really have the mana to just kind of throw abilities out.
A lot of low health bars across the entirety of this map right now. Everybody seems to be wanting to fight today. Ganesh Dash gets on top of the Hachiman, just trying to force him off of the wave and get that pressure that the Odin's Headhunters dual lane can provide with the amount of clear that they have in comparison. You know, it's not a whole lot, but it's a little bit more than what the Ice Age can provide.
Yeah, it's nothing like super substantial, but it is enough to allow them to get just a little bit of pressure, you know.
Yeah, it could
But I
have been
mean,
like AMC or Oler Bacchus, you know, something like that.
just disgusting. Oh yeah, I locked Izanami and someone else like Atlas. Just like, oh, you don't get to play the game ever.
Give me that mannequin Sylvanas. I was asking for it yesterday and I didn't receive it, and I was very upset.
Yeah, I didn't catch all of yesterday's. Did we get your PvE kill?
No, I did not.
Oh,
Instead, I got a Jingwei mid who split pushed for 45 minutes.
that's OP. You know,
Yeah.
if it doesn't work the first time, run it back for game 3.
The unfortunate part was it worked the first time and they ran it back for game number 3. Hunbot's making the rotation over to the dual lane, securing that shield buff for the Odin's Hunters very nicely. And it looks like that little Totem of Ku is going to go the way of the Odin's Hunters as well, just securing a lot of this neutral farm on both ends of the map. The Kakolan also has the XP buff, or well, the cooldown buff. There we go, that one. So, yeah, just securing up the neutral farm, and that's going to, right there, slowly but surely build a little bit of a lead. Right now, you won't be able to see it too much, but as that neutral farm gets more and more towards one side of the map, you will start to see that grow.
Yeah, already starting to see, you know, just the absolute beginnings of it, about 200 gold or so, just off of the neutral camps. So definitely does add up. You do that over 10 minutes, all of a sudden you're up 1,000 without ever getting a kill, ever getting an invade. It certainly adds up quicker than you might think.
Without a doubt, no invades going off on this first rotation of buffs. Team's just kind of happy to group up and get their own farm, and it looks like the speed buff went back to the speed buff camp. Unfortunate for the for the Odin Hunter side. I always hate that. You know, when you're sitting there, you pull in the camp, and then it just leashes itself right on back and walks halfway across the jungle.
And you try to hit it and you just can't reach it, and then it's
Just
like,
out
do
of
I
it.
use an ability on it? No. Just gotta walk back.
You know what I need? I need Hi-Rez to allow me to leash the back camps. Please allow me to take that somewhere else.
Yeah, the mass camp, absolutely.
Oh, it's so painful.
They're so bad. They go like 2 steps out of it and they're like, never mind.
Nah, you're not hitting me. I'm just
Yep.
gonna go back. I want to go home. A little bit of a jungle poke going on right here, seeing if they could catch out one of the other members' dual lanes, but not gonna happen. But the first blood does go the way of Pockles over in this dual lane, ends up finding D's over here. You know, that Ganesha kind of walked into the lane a little bit low. I was kind of worried, and well, for good reason. It looks like Ice Age is gonna get that one and lock it away.
Yeah, unfortunately not able to escape after that Cataclysm comes out. Bang, bang, boom onto the gray screen. First blood for Ice Age.
Green buff still up for the Ice Age. It doesn't seem like Pop and Nike sees that, but it looks like over in the solo lane, look at that. You get the Raging Cullen. What's going to happen? Well, I can tell you what's going to happen. You're going to get a solo kill.
Yeah, going to see Thor dunking in, but that's a level 7 Kakko, and he might just get himself a double kill.
Oh no, the hammer is just going to get him out.
I
But the
really thought he was
wants
going
it.
to
He
die to a
wants
tick.
it. He wants it. He's not going to get it. He's going to end up killing himself to the tower.
Kyle.
Let's
You were never getting that kill. Come on.
No, not in a million years.
Not in a million years. He had to let you get that kill. You can't be doing that. Does have the
Valiant
contagion
effort.
first item though, so
Yeah.
going to be a bit of a pain for this Hercules to deal with. Every ability, you're going to be hurting yourself.
He just wanted to get back to base faster.
Mhm.
Yeah. just take the quick way back. No harm, no foul. Doesn't have the TP available to get himself back to lane. He's going to have to walk, though. And, well, hopefully he doesn't lose too much out as the minion wave gets pushed into the tower.
He was just trying to be nice to Fuego, you know. He said, "Ah, you used your Thor ult on me. I guess you can have a kill," you know.
He's trying to say, look, I can solo lane. I can solo my opponent. I'm not too worried anymore.
Yep, I won my ones. We're good now.
Though it looks like the Hercules is going to opt for that Frostbound hammer. This I find kind of interesting.
I didn't see that one coming.
No, I didn't see it coming either. I was actually thinking more for like a Rune Forged or
Rune
something.
Forge, yeah, yeah. Rune Forge, that item's OP. Yeah, I love that item. No,
Yeah.
he says, "Oh, you got gooseberries? Well, I can auto attack too." I mean, he even does have the feather shard, so he's looking for them little hands.
Maybe he could have built Sledge.
If
Rip
only.
Sledge.
My
Rip
beloved.
Sledge.
I miss Sledge and Blackthorn Hammer. I think Blackthorn Hammer was insane.
Oh god.
Sometimes you
give me
have
that
cooldowns,
MP5?
sometimes you have
Right.
MP5. Give me the MP5.
Hercules finding himself in a difficult position. That Fear No Evil does come out, and it looks like Kaio is going to pick that one up. Scopey falls yet again right now. Another pickup for the Odin's Headhunters. Now Ganesha finding himself in a difficult position. D is trying to get away from the three members of Ice Age, and he's got his ADC here to help him get out. The Dharmic Pillars do come out, and so does the Shell, but the dash right into the Thor is very unfortunate. Forces the beads in the mounted archery from Ice Age. Just going to get out just barely, but never mind. Pakka's going to secure that one. Anvil of Dawn comes down on top, forcing the beads of the ADC of the Odin's Headhunters. It's only going to get one pick right now, but hey, one for nothing.
Yeah, both of these junglers getting active. Hunbots goes over there, gets himself an assist, grabs himself a kill in mid as well off of the back of King Balrus ulting, and this is an action-packed game. Pakka's...
What'd
Guys,
you say about
stop fighting! Stop
You're gonna
fighting,
make us,
please.
You're gonna make Deacon, who's spectating right now, just jump around the map. Okay, just start moving between each and every lane. You know, surely we're gonna catch something. As we can see right now, a fight already going on in the solo lane as well. You get a Raging Cacola, boom, right into the tower. That's the Hercules we expect. I don't think he makes it out alive. There comes the ultimate right now, and Scopey secures the solo kill onto Kaio. Yeah, just keep moving around the map.
Answering back immediately says, "Oh, you can get a gank? That's fine. I don't need one. I'll put you right back on the gray screen myself."
Just jump. Okay, start jumping around the map. Where are we going to see the fight next, okay? Probably not in dual lane. Nobody's there.
I think maybe like 20 seconds from now we'll see some action, you know, as these junglers get those ultimates back up, because they're very heavy assassins, you know.
Can we start actually like discussing everything that happened within the past 30 seconds?
I think they're gonna let us. I think they're gonna let us.
Okay, let's talk about builds right now. We see the Book of Thoths coming out over in the mid lane for both of these characters. Nothing too surprising there. Gauntlet of Thebes, the Devos, everybody's mimicking each other's build. The only difference that we really see is over in the solo lane. And the one thing that I do see interesting is that Druid Stone in the second item slot of this Thor.
Yeah, probably looking into that Stone of Binding. A little bit less overall damage, a little bit more utility. Not something that I necessarily love. I think that's only good on a couple of gods, but it's certainly something that can work.
One thing to make note of is the fact that those hybrid items did see a little bit of a buff in the recent patch. I wouldn't be surprised if we do see something like this, maybe a Glad Shield come out. In addition, just kind of giving him that little bit of extra tankiness when he's landing in with the Anvil of Dawn. He does have that buff as well, and it looks like the members of Odin's Headhunters are going to make their way over to the Pyromancer, because over on the other side, Ice Age is making their way to the Gold Fury. The Pyromancer absolutely I'm sorry, that's not even a Pyromancer up. That was a mid-camp, so you're going to take. Never mind, I'm sorry. That Gold Fury is getting down, getting really low, and Ice Age is going to secure that one. No sweat, no problem. They sent 4 members onto it, and nobody from Odin's Headhunters was ready.
Yeah, big fight comes out. This Baba is doing so much damage with those pools. Fuego going to pick up the first kill. Xenophonics down in the back, popping Nike second to fall. Ice Age aren't looking to go down here. Thor coming in. It looks like this should be a dead Ganesha. One stun will do it. Ooh, walls off his own team. Ganesha doing what he can, but going to fall. And that's a very commanding lead for Ice Age.
Oh yeah, I find my Sage, I'm rotating in a mid right now. I'm applying as much pressure as I can across this map. So let's see. You got the objective. You got how many kills in that? 1, 2, 3 kills off of the back of that. Huge. And what did you lose? D's? No, I'm sorry. I'm looking at the wrong team. What did you lose off of that? Absolutely nobody.
You lost like a beads, a
Oh yeah,
shell,
ooh,
a couple of health
beats.
bars. Nothing as impactful as losing a gold fury and a couple lives.
Trying to get a little bit of something off the back end of this. We got the Cocoon transformation. You're into 3 members right now, but nobody realizes that here comes Pop and Nike trying to get something. He does get Nova Shark. No expense of the ultimate. Just jumps on in and hits him with that overhead slam. Now he's got to get out of here, though, which is the problem. Ultimate comes out of the Cocoon, and so does the Chernobog. Here he comes in. Now it's a 4-member turnaround from the Odin's Headhunters, locking in Talon Reese on this Geb, seeing what they can pick up, ends up finding a double kill right now, and Pop and Nike picking up 2. And now Hercules doing his best to get away, but Scopey's not going to be able to get away at all. But the Anvil of Dawn comes down on top of him, seeing if he could get a cleanup instead. And he does get 1 over here and finds Kaio on the back end.
What is this game? What am I watching?
Arena?
This is certainly looking like
With
an
lanes?
arena. Everybody
Yeah.
out here brawling.
Arena with lanes, I guess?
Otis Headhunters get a nice little punch back in, saying we're definitely not down and out quite yet. But without an objective to take after their skirmish, they're certainly still sitting down about 3K.
Here's the unfortunate part. Deez needs to back, but he's not going to be able to. We're 5 seconds out from this first beacon, and it looks like that's going to go the way of Ice Age as well. I don't want to call it just yet, because every time I call the beacon, it doesn't happen, but it's gotta be. Right. Maybe it's because I've been casting Walker games. Chaos ends up capturing that, going the way of Ice Age. Ice Age picks up the first beacon of the game right on the spawn timer.
Yeah, certainly ready for that. Going to be uncontested. Just gonna march in, knock that beacon out. No big deal.
I feel like every time I call the beacon, I'm like, and they're gonna take the beacon, and then everybody,
and then they, like, step off
all
the
5
fight.
people just walk. No, don't even step off and fight. Just go to the other end of the map, and I'm like, or we're not gonna take the beacon. Then they're diving the tier 1 tower in mid or something, and then losing a fight out of nothing, or going over to the Pyromancer, and I'm like, but guys, okay, we could have gotten both the beacon and the Pyromancer. Where are we going? How come nobody stayed around?
We could have had more.
But I want more. Odin's Headhunters and Ice Age over here with the dual lanes, returning to the dual lane. Shield buff going to go the way of Odin's Headhunters, but now Hunbot's coming on in. Papa Nike is going to get ready. It looks like the Dharmic Pillars are out, and so is a Shell and Mounted Archery over on the side of Ice Age, just doing what they can to get away. The Cataclysm got dropped as well.
Yeah, good peel from Talon, dropping that Cataclysm, dropping, the Mounted Archery, making sure he gets his ADC out.
I mean, can you blame him for dropping that Cataclysm on cooldown? He's got the 20% CDR already with the Prid win.
Can't blame him, that's for sure. Agni in a little bit of danger here. Hunbot's ult dropped. Xenophonic's going to pick that one up. Geb going to be able to roll himself out to victory, thankfully. Rollout is really funny when it's, at max speed.
Yeah, double relics popped by Nova Shark. Okay, so the Agni used both of his relics and then dashed away. Cool, well, that's just a free cleanup kill for the Odin's Headhunters any day. And now, here's the troubling part. Now you're an Agni, no CC immunity in kit, no beads, no Aegis, and there's a Hunbots on the other side of the team. What do you think is going to be happening? Well, just blink, fear no evil, blink, fear no evil for the next 2.5 minutes.
Certainly is what I would like to see coming out of Pop and Nike. Great dash comes out. Pockles means business. Xenophonics down to the gray screen off of just a nasty dash.
Yeah, I guess if you want to be dashing in like that for Xenophonics, you gotta land your auto attacks and take the better end of the trade, but it looks like it's gonna go the way of Pockles. Gold Fury is getting seeing the eyes of the Ice Age right now. They're moving in the 4 members again, trying to pick up the second one for themselves. Really just trying to take control of the objectives. Now all 5 members here of Ice Age, and no way to defend it as the Odin's Headhunters not even able to respond with a Pyromancer. That Only Fury is going to go down without any congestion.
Yeah, it goes down. Do see Thor go up, looking for something. Going to be the purple buff. Says, you're having a bad game? Let's make it worse.
Yeah, that tier 1 tower is going to be going down relatively soon as well, and if they can just zone the wave out in the back, then it looks like Xenophonics is not going to be getting any more farm. Now the Pyromancer are getting looked at by the members of Ice Age, but this time the members of Odin's Headhunters are here, and they're going to take that one away with the Fear No Evil. Dharmic Pillars do come out, and it looks like Scopey is getting locked down and going to get sent back to the gray screen. King Bowers ends up picking up that one, and now Cucullin is here jumping on into the back line of the Odin's Headhunter. I'm sorry, of the Ice Age. Gets that ultimate off, and so here is Xenophonics with that global ultimate from the Chernobog. Looks like Talon Reese is doing his best to peel for his team and peel for himself more so. Get himself on out of there. The shell is expended. Gonna make it back to his tier 2 tower without an issue.
This fight's still going on.
Yeah, it is.
Agony looking for something wrapping around the side. Not going to be able to find anything.
Forces the
Headhunters with a
beads.
nice punch back down to a 1k gold difference. Great job stealing out the pyro and then continuing off onto that mid-tier 1.
Yeah, I expected a lot of team fights when I saw the Hunbots and the Cucullin over on one side and the Hercules over on the other side. And then, okay, we're going to lock in Chernobog as well, which means we're just going to be ulting around the map to join into these fights wherever, using that Living Nightmare. Okay. Yeah, let's, how should I say? There was a point I wanted to make there. Maybe
they drafted to play Arena.
Yes.
That's for
there
sure.
we go. That is exactly what I was looking for. Speaking of, it looks like you're in a little bit of a difficult position. Novashark doesn't have the relics available to him, and Kaya wants that one, but is not going to be able to get a good peel from Scopey to get his mage out of there.
Yeah, Driving Strike gets him clear out of danger. Going to let him live another day after, provoking the Yeti that is Cucullin in that rage form. Other than that, though, not seeing anything too crazy coming out with builds. Got the Baba starting off that prophetic, going to be able to get that stacked up pretty well with the passive. Thor opting for a little bit of a lesser seen item in that Titan's Bane, going into what I'm assuming is a serrated after, going to get all of his percent pen in 2 items.
Oh yeah, the way I look at it is getting that percentage penetration is going to do you a whole lot, not to mention it being Titan's Bane. When you're Thor, you're not going to be in the fight too much, or if you are, you're going to be throwing a hammer in, although the damage from the Titan's Bane is going to be coming out more so on your Titanic
It's going to
Rift.
proc on the Rift, yeah.
On that shield.
That's the only problem.
Yeah,
They changed that and it made Thor a little bit worse in that regard.
The way that it will help, though, is with the landing of the ultimate. You're going to be coming in with that Anvil of Dawn. You're going to get that Titan's Bane passive on top of it. Speaking of, he goes up in the air right now as we see a massive grouping here. Comes down on top of the Baba Yaga. Does not get anything out of it. Papa Nike ends up getting Talon Reese, though. And now Odin's Headhunters are chasing down the remaining members of Ice Age, seeing what low health bars they can pick up. Beads and Aegis forced out on top of this. Thor gonna try to get his way self out of there. Does get the hammer on out. And it looks like the Odin's Headhunters do pick up that beacon. Now they're in a really good position to push down this mid lane, but I don't want to say they do just yet, but it looks like they are thinking about it right now, seeing if they could get a little bit of a cleanup. Nope, they're going to end up backing on up because they see a Gold Fury spawning relatively shortly.
Yeah, and this game is just back and forth constantly. You see a good play come out, boom, the Headhunters there. All right, what are we doing next? What fight are we winning? Where are we taking our lead? And in the lead, they are in that XP division, 2,500. That's very significant XP wise, considering they're still down 700 gold.
Yeah, but when you're looking at the graph, it was 3k in the favor of the Ice Age not too long ago. But it's only a 500 gold game now at this point.
Yeah, ridiculously close game going into this 20-minute mark. 19 minutes, couple hundred gold. That's just words at this point. That's nothing significant at all. Looks like we are going to see a setup around this Gold Fury. Looks like not going to have too much of a response from Ice Age.
Yeah, unfortunately, Fuego Maego is making the back right now. He's not going to be here, but is going to try to make his way on over. Does have the Anvil of Dawn to get that ultimate on in there. Now the only one defending this Gold Fury right now, though, is Pockles, because the backline of the Ice Age is getting dove by, well, a dead Hunbots.
Yeah, unfortunately, Beads out onto the Fear No Evil, going to spell his fate. Balrus picks up Pockles on the back end, though. Sacrificed himself to keep him off the Gold Fury. Not the worst trade.
The unfortunate part is D's tanked that Gold Fury for way too long. Ate too many of those channels and then tried to go for a fight after. Got stunned out by that Thor, ended up falling, and now you're 2 members down. You don't really have a way of tanking because, let's be honest, Kaio just got sent back to the gray screen as well. Now you only have 2 members remaining. Both your carries right now for the Odin's Headhunters doing their best to get away. Living Nightmare goes up in the air. You got to land down somewhere, and unfortunately, it's into the members of the Ice Age. They're going to chase you on down here. Unfortunately, with a driving strike because of the wall from the Thor. Does he end up making it out? The root is good, but gets plucked right back in, and Fuego Maego ends up picking that one up. And now, speaking of picking up, the Ice Age is going to pick up the Gold Fury.
Might be a little too quick though. Dees and Papa Nike are up on the move, looking to get in here. Full health bars on the 3 from the Odin's Headhunters, trying to get in there. Will they be enough?
Look at
Thor
that
gets out
HP
with
bar.
absolutely no
Look
health.
at those HP bars, my
That was
guy.
a crime.
There we go. Well, that wasn't Thor, but King Bowers ends up finding Talon Reese over here on the back end of this, and good lock in right now from the Home Sweet Home and the Darvik Pillars between the two members of the Odin's Headhunters. Now you're in a little bit of danger, though, eating those Hachiman auto attacks. Hunbot still floating in from the backside, does not have that Fear No Evil available. Looking for the Hachiman, ends up finding him. There it is. Papa Nike ends up picking up Pockles, and now it's all eyes on Scopy. 1v3 before the two remaining members of the Ice Age do end up returning to this fight that will never end. Anvil of Dawn goes up in the air, but Papa Nike ends up finding Scopy, and now surely this fight's over. No, it is not. Fuego Maego finds Papa Nike. And now the Agni's back. And now Baba Yaga's low. And now the Ice Age is running back because the members of Odin's Headhunters are back. What is going on?
Are we playing Assault? Like, I've only seen
Assault?
like 2 people back. You know, I've only seen 2 people like back to base fully.
Okay, so
It
it's
seems
an
like they're
arena
just
assault
not
mixture?
able to get out of there. Yeah.
Yeah.
Just going to keep going on these fights as much as they can, not willing to give anybody any sort of respite.
We're only fighting for kills, and we can only back if we die. It seems to be the play.
Certainly does seem pretty likely there. Looks like this Gold Fury might finally stop being the target.
Yeah, no, I don't think anybody wants to pick up the Gold Fury after all that. The fight started because the Odin's Headhunters picked up that Gold Fury, which was how long ago? What, 2-3 minutes ago? So...
Yeah, I think it was right around that 20-minute mark, right around 2.5 minutes ago. Just a ridiculous fight, back and forth, back and forth.
Yeah, enough for all of these members to get their relics back up. But that's not saying too much, considering that Deez does have that relic dagger in pocket, which is one of my favorite items in the game. It is just so... 50 seconds! 50 seconds off your cooldowns. That is atrocious, especially when you're looking at some of the other cooldown... I'm sorry, some of the cooldowns for the relics in general.
Well, yeah, look at like the bracer. That thing has to have like a 50-second cooldown now after the 50-second reduction.
Hercules getting locked down a little bit. The Pyromancer did end up going down, going the way of the Ice Age, but now they're here and ready to defend against the Odin's Headhunters over at the Gold Fury yet again, which means we're going to see some fighting going on again.
No fighting around the Gold Fury, never seen it before.
Anvil of Dawn going up in the air with the eyes, and unfortunate, just off the mark of Papa Nike. Now he just jumps on out of there because the hammer was used. The order does capture, so the Odin's Headhunters do get that beacon, and now it looks like the Odin's Headhunters are marching their way on in, locking in Talon Reese inside that Dharmic Pillars. The Living Nightmare does land, and King Bowers ends up picking up Talon Reese, but right behind them is Pockles on this Hachiman, trying to regroup with his team, was a little bit out of position. Kakulin getting out of the back line, and now the Hunbots is low, but Scopy's driving strike is just off the mark. Ganesha ends up getting on top of him now and seeing if they can get any damage off, but honestly, I don't see any damage going on to this Hercules at all.
That is the Hercules problem. If you don't have anti-heal to deal with his healing, he just lives forever in a fight. I mean, he's fighting like 3 people at a time, and he's not losing health.
Well, Kaio ended up falling after all of that. He was doing his best to zone for his team, but unfortunately, like you were saying, if you don't have anti-heal, and I don't think anybody in that fight had anti-heal for the Hercules. Let's see who we had over there. Ganesha and Chernobog.
Yeah, the only anti-heal on that side of the map is going to be that Brawler's Beat Stick out of the Hunbots.
Yeah, that's rough. I don't think you can... I think you need something more. You need...
Well, I guess, yeah. You have the Contagion and the one coming out of the Kakulin, but like he's not in the same part of the fight because they were both diving.
Exactly. If you don't have that anti-heal over there with you, then, well, we saw what's going to happen. Ice Age is going to take another Gold Fury. That's what's going to happen. Now the Titans are clashing over in the dual lane, which means, guess what? We're going to be fighting again.
Gotta love the fighting.
The end is never the end, is never the end, is never the end.
Odin's Headhunters a little bit low on these HP bars, you know, going to just get ran at by Scopy, and he's looking to get it done.
And jumping out, Papa Nike. It looks like the two tanks right now are in a bit of danger. Low HP bars for the Odin's Headhunters. I think you walk away from that one. Take
Yeah,
the
I
fight
think
under
you
your
just
tier
have
2 tower.
to let them have the Titan at that point. You wouldn't even have to let them have the tier 2. That's scary.
Yeah, that Titan's still very healthy at about half HP. And you don't really, I can't say you don't have a lot of tools. Anvil of Dawn comes up and comes down on top of 2 members and ends up finding Papa Nike. Pockles actually gets a double kill. Xenophonics ends up falling as well. And now this Thor's on the back line, seeing what he can clean up over here. Hachiman, yeah, no harm, no foul. He's perfectly fine. He's with the other 4 members of his team right now, dashing into the Phoenix of the Odin's Headhunter, seeing if they could get this Titan push going off. They don't have a bomb anymore. They ended up using it on that tier 2 tower to burn it down very quickly. And now Kakulin jumps into the backline, some low HP bars right now, but Kakulin's low as well. But Kaio ends up finding Pockles, but the Titan ends up finding the Phoenix. Kaio finds 2, and Talon Reese gets the cleanup. Unfortunate, it goes the way of the support. Not going to be able to do too much to save his carries.
Not able to save his carries, does get the kill, and that is a really good position to be in. They have that Phoenix down. You know, they're going to be able to reset. And at roughly the same time as the other team, you know, without Kaio, it's not going to be able to get too much done on the Headhunters, and that puts them in a really good spot to go for that Fire Giant.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was about to say. Is now where is everybody's eyes set on this Fire Giant? Getting over there. If I'm Odin's Headhunters, I'm actually making a beeline over there towards this FG, seeing if we can bait something, seeing if we can force something to happen. My Kakulin does have teleport up. Maybe we can pull it right away, and that is exactly what they do. Deez picks that one up. He has his carries there with him, and he's going to end up chipping that one on down, getting down to about 75% health already. And Ice Age is none the wiser. Now they're making their way on in, but it's a little bit late right now. We're getting down to 25%, 5% health on that Fire Giant, and it's going to go the way of Odin's Headhunters. A great call from this team, and now they're on the chase down, finding King Balrus, gets Talon Reese jumping on in. Papa Nike, guys, Fuego, Maego, the only 2 members of the Ice Age to come up for the defense. That is the call that we needed. Your carries are dead. You just lost your Phoenix. If you play this any slower, the timers come back from the 2 members of Ice Age. They just march right over to the Fire Giant, and you can't do anything about it. Now they take the tier 2 tower. There's 2 members down. Probably march into this Phoenix and take one for themselves.
Certainly going to look to try to. I mean, 5 versus 3, this is their best odds, but they're Titan back at home taking a little bit of damage. It looks like they don't quite have what they want to be able to go ahead and start knocking down these Phoenixes.
You know what? That's perfectly fine. You just got a Fire Giant. You got huge cleanup picks. You're going to get a Pyromancer because nobody's nearby to defend this. Then you just march down the dual lane. You push down these Fire Minion waves while also cleaning up these towers yourself and taking that gold lead, which I was about to talk about, and just swinging it right in your favor now. Because let's be honest, when you clean up the Pyromancer, the Gold Fury, the tier 1 tower, the tier 2 tower in duo, the tier 2 tower in the mid lane, you're going to be getting some golden pocket.
Oh yeah, probably looking at about a 5k lead if they are able to clean the map, and that's what they needed to do to Ice Age.
It's going to be interesting to see how well Ice Age can defend this. I don't think you're defending a tier 2. I'm sorry, I don't think you're defending a tier 1. I do think you are defending a tier 2 if you're Ice Age. Granted, you don't have the defense comp that the Odin Sentinels have. Blinking in right now and jumping into the back line, trying to catch somebody off guard, but unfortunately, I think it looks like Papa Nike is going to be the one who's caught off guard as he faces the 2 to 3 members of the Ice Age who are grouped up very nicely around this Gold Fury. Now all 5 just sitting in the area. Is that Thor up in the air with the Anvil of Dawn right now? He is, yes, and he lands down on the back line of the Odin's Headhunters. That Geb shell is forced, and so is the shield. Looks like now Kaio's going to pick that one up. Fuego Maego probably went in a little bit too early without Scopey. Yeah, now Blink into the back line, popping that Fear No Evil. Odin's Headhunters are on the chase down. You got Fire Giant around 5 members. I see no issue with this fight. Ice Age might have bit off a little bit more than they could chew with that initiation. Kaio finds a second one for this fight. Nova Shark going down. 2 members down. Scopey, though, gets Xenophonics. Without your ADC, you're going to be in a little bit of danger for picking something up. Apocalypse ends up getting Kaio. 2 for 2 now in this fight. And, it's looking a little bit rough now for the Odin's Headhunters.
Yeah, Headhunters start off with a great, counter initiation.
No way.
From downtown, baseball to the forehead. That is going to be a nice kill for Scopey. And this is just so tough, It looks so good at the start. And then all of a sudden, Ice Age strikes back and almost get themselves back that Phoenix, not quite long enough.
You gotta drop ultimate, I feel. Oh, lockdown under the Phoenix. But again, you know, like we were saying before, without any anti-heal, you're not really doing a whole lot to this Hercules.
He is just a Hercules. Look at him. He does
Yeah, he
not
just
care.
ate 2 ultimates, still half health, walking away. Yeah, okay, goodbye. Thought he could get a Phoenix, but unfortunately, the members of Odin Sentinels were able to get the back off and defend that one. So very good for them. Now we just kind of return to net neutral.
Yeah, Ice Age still a little bit ahead, but not convincing anymore. You know, they had that Phoenix down. They lose the FG to the great play from Headhunters, and this game is just even.
Still 60 seconds out from the next Fire Giant respawn, so I expect teams to make their way on in that direction relatively soon, getting that ward vision up, seeing if they could get some picks, or seeing if they could just get enough vision up to where they could pull it, as the Odin Sentinels did in the previous bout. But it looks like plenty of members from both sides are in the vicinity, so I don't expect that one to happen again.
Yeah, not going to let them get a nice little sneaky FG twice in a row. This time being EFG. Can't blame them. Honestly, right now, I'd love to see Xenophonics use his pick a little bit more. Maybe start pushing out that left lane, force somebody to go over there, and then ult back into the fight.
Yeah, I'm a little bit. I've been watching this Chernobog pick. You know, we saw some good ultimates, but I've seen more defensive ultimates, I feel, than I've seen initiation. Maybe that's because that's only the times I was looking at him was a couple in the mid lane when he went up in the air and came down, or the one around the Gold Fury pit. I know he has used it in aggressive manners already. We saw him come down in a mid lane fight to get some cleanup kills after a lost fight. So I'm not putting him down. Don't get me wrong. Nice 5v5 grouping from both of these teams. Well, 4v5 because nobody realizes that Papa Nike made his way back to base to get some items, some wards. But nobody's really aware of any of that. You know, everybody's kind of trying to see who's going to step out of position first, who's going to get a little bit of poke off.
I just want to let you know that Pockles has Malicious Deathbringer.
I mean,
It's certainly an item
yeah.
you can build. Don't know if it's the item I'm looking for necessarily, but
Ooh, Dharmic Pillars come out on top of the Hachiman. You're just going to get driving striked right into the back line of the Ice Age, though, and your health bar is going to get deleted. Nova Shark ends up finding D's, and now the initiation is on. That is exactly what somebody was looking for. Who's going to step out of position? Unfortunately, it was D's. Anvil of Dawn goes up in the air, and I see a couple low HP bars coming on down. Nova Shark ends up getting one. Scopey gets one himself, and now it looks like this Hercules and Thor are on the back line for the remaining members of the Odin Sentinels. Fuego Maego is going to find Kaio. That is a 4-for-1 sweep in that team fight.
4 for 1, 4 for none.
4 for
Nobody on
none.
Ice
Yeah, thank
Age
you.
dies, and they're going to be able to pick up this EFG, and that's the power of this Hercules pick. That's the one thing that Odin's Headhunters don't have. They don't have that displacement to start off a fight. All of a sudden,
I just felt like D's was not where he should have been.
You get pulled because you were 5 steps too far forward, and bing bang boom, you're down. You can't support the rest of your team, and they just fall soon after. And just a great fight from Ice Age, keeping that patience, waiting for their moment to strike.
Yeah, D's needs to realize that this Ganesha is more of a midline support style, not a frontline support. You need to be playing more towards your backline, more towards them, so you can get the Dharmic Pillars off, you can get the Ohm off, but he ended up finding himself getting picked, because let's be honest, you get plucked into the backline. We talked about it in picks and bans. You're going to get plucked. There's a spider on my monitor. I'm sorry.
You're going to get tectonic rifted after you get plucked. Going to just be sitting there. Oh look! Oh, you got out. Haha, cataclysm. Haha, knockup. So many tools to keep you in there once you've been knocked in.
I got it. We're good.
Now the spider huge.
This is the first spider I've seen in this room.
Oh,
They always love
spider in the room.
I hate it's always dark and then they just come down right in front of your face. It's like
They
you could have
just show
came
up out
down
of nowhere.
anywhere, but it's right there, right in front of your monitor.
He wanted to let you know he was helping out, keeping the
No,
mosquitoes in
he
check.
just wanted to watch.
Mhm.
Unfortunately, I sent him back to the gray screen. So
That's unlucky.
yeah,
He'll respawn in a little bit. Don't worry.
I hope not.
What's he got? Like a 5-minute respawn timer?
It depends on how many siblings he has. It's
That's fair.
yeah, it's got that diminishing returns. The more siblings you have, the longer the respawn timer.
That's fair. That's fair.
Yeah. Only fire minion waves pushing down 2 lanes for the Ice Age. They got 1 tier 2 tower remaining and 1 Phoenix remaining for the Odin's Headhunters. This could be a very rough push as 5 members are sitting around with EFG around their belts.
Yeah, I mean, Odin's Headhunters, if they are grouped as 5, have a pretty good defense, with those Dharmic Pillars, with that Fear No Evil, with the Home Sweet Home. They have tools to be able to defend, but if Papa Nike's going to be caught off guard a little bit too far out at the start of this fight, this could be rough.
Phoenix already down to about 1 HP. Anvil of Dawn goes up in the air. Really good Fear No Evil. Xenophonics ends up finding Scopey. Got a little bit too deep. Thor lands onto the backline of the Ice Age. Now I don't think you're in a good spot that you want to be. Gets locked down. Xenophonics gets a double kill in this fight. And the 3 remaining members of Ice Age are not the healthiest, but neither are these Odin's Headhunters. Beads and Aegis both dropped by Xenophonics. Trying to get some chase down, but bit off a little bit more than he could chew.
Never mind the Beads Aegis. Look at the Titan. It took an Odie Firewave.
Yeah.
That Titan was full. Nobody attacked that Titan.
We were in a fight, man. We had a team fight.
But the Winions.
Oh, let them go. They're not going to do anything, right? Surely.
They don't hurt that bad. Oh,
Nah.
Where'd my Titan go? Half health on the Titan going to limit what the Odin's Headhunters are able to do in this little brief respite.
Yeah, and that's not going away anytime soon. As that solo lane Phoenix dropped, you're going to have quite a while of that Titan's HP sitting at about half right now. You still have Fire Giant around 3 remaining members, but that's only for 30 seconds. Okay, so we're going to be setting up this next Fire Giant. If I'm Odin's Headhunters, we got to push these waves out super hard, but Ice Age is just marching in. They're going for the end. Odin's Headhunters is setting up for the Fire Giant, and I think they're realizing right now that they're not here, and their Titan room is in danger.
Yeah, Titan room in danger. Looking to maybe not go in, maybe not initiate, but just kind of waste their time. Make sure that they're not able to get anything off of that as they start to wait for this next FG in about 50 seconds.
Yeah, let's be honest. Odin's Headhunters would take advantage of that exactly the same way they did earlier in this game. If you give them those inches, those couple inches right there, they'll take a mile. And without any hesitation. Now it looks like Ice Age just wants to make sure that these Phoenixes stay down and the pressure keeps on top of that Titan, because if they do keep the fire waves up here, if they do get these Phoenixes down, as we see the blink in from Scopey getting into the back line immediately, the Home Sweet Home and Dharmic Pillars both drop, and so does the Phoenix. Kakulin now getting into the back line of the Ice Age along with the Fear No Evil. Kaio ends up finding Pacos, but Kaio ends up falling to Nova Shark. Looks like Nova Shark is really low himself. Chernobog landing in with that living nightmare, seeing if he could get something, but the shell and shield is going to keep Nova Shark alive, giving him a second health bar and giving him enough time to pick up Xenophonics. There we go. Now the Titan is the look of the members of Ice Age. You don't have your ADC, but you do have Nova Shark, who's not too healthy. Hopefully Odin's Headhunters is going to get some sort of defense off, but that Titan's getting down to about a quarter HP and heal back up to half as the members of Ice Age are moving in and out.
Yeah, not able to commit as much as they might like to. Titan's still very low. Agni going to be forced into the timeline. Will it be enough? He dashes through and it finally falls. Ice Age take an absolute... I don't know. That end was a little iffy. But they do manage to knock it out into a 1-0 lead.
Well, you're pushing into the Titan room without your ADC, and your only other carry is a little bit low on the HP bar. No surprise it took as long as it did, but really great play from Ice Age, able to secure away game number 1 and give themselves a lead here in the semifinals.
Yeah, definitely good plays coming out from both teams. Headhunters, even from behind, being able to sneak that FG and get themselves right back in it shows that they are certainly formidable. Other than that, anything you see in the builds that's too crazy? I didn't think anything was outlandish.
It felt like this Hercules was a bit of a problem. If we couldn't lock him down early, if we couldn't really do anything to him, whether it be just anti-heal or whether it be the ability to shred him with some percentage penetration or percentage health damage, because let's be honest. He's a Hercules. He has a massive ton of health. So I think that's what Odin's headhunters were a little bit of lacking, is just the ability to control this Hercules. He got into the back line. He did whatever he wanted. He plucked some people, brought him into their back line, and then they just blew him up. Or he was just diving the back line and getting in their face. And then Fuego Maego would come in over the top with this Anvil of Dawn from who knows where. It literally could be anywhere on the map and just coming in on top of the members of the Odin's headhunters. So figuring out how to control that, I think, is going to be the game plan for the Odin Headhunters going into game number 2.
Yeah, definitely. A lot of things that they can really just shore up real quick to turn this into an exciting game 3. We will be back shortly for game number 2.
And we're back with picks and bans for game number 2 here in the semifinals of Odin's Headhunters versus the Ice Age. You know, after game number 1, we were kind of looking at things, and what do we really see? Hercules, Thor being a little bit of a nuisance for the backline of the Odin's Headhunters. Other than that, was there really anything they were lacking? Maybe some consistent DPS, maybe some good lockdown, but they had a Ganesha, Hunmots. Like, what was really missing? What adaptations do we need to see?
I mean, honestly, they weren't far off. If they were able to deal with the Hercules a little bit better, either with a little bit more anti-heal or just a tad more lockdown, they certainly could have gotten a lot more done. Ganesha comes out swapping teams.
Yeah, all of these bands are the exact same. So everything so far has been the exact same. I almost want to see Odin's Headhunters just pick up the Ice Age's draft and just say, all right, you know what? Anything you can do, I can do better. I guess that's what both these teams might do.
Yep, Hercules, Geb, bing, bang, boom. Lock 'em in.
Yeah, come on, do it. Do it.
Throw in the extra salty run back.
Huh. Okay, so the Ganesha is going to prevent the dive from the Odin's Headhunters. What do we have? We had a Hunmat, we had a Chernobog, we had a Kakulin. I guess he'll do really good against a Kakulin. And there's a Geb Hover. Please don't do it. No.
I called it. I called it. We're going for the
Oh,
extra
man.
salty run back.
You know, what do I say?
That's just the power of mind games.
Yeah. Chalk gets hovered over on the side of the Ice Age. I guess they don't have the boys down south to pick the Kakulin, you know? Just gonna lock this Chalk, I guess. Gonna be lame.
Not
gonna keep it going.
He got buffed. I mean, look at
Okay,
him.
but it's not Kakulin. There's the Hachimon. Guess gonna lock back the Hachimon over for the Ice Age. Figure they just gonna keep what they're comfortable with. Chalk gonna get locked in as well for the Ice Age. Gonna apply some good pressure in that lane, but definitely not what this Hercules can provide.
Yeah, definitely, going to be lacking that displacement from this draft, not coming out of Ganesha, not coming out of Chalk, so going to have a little bit of a harder time, grabbing their mark before they start a fight.
Yeah, you know what I do see though? Silence from the Chalk ult, silence from the Ganesha. Just give me a Nox on top of it and call it a day.
Wouldn't be the most outlandish thing I've seen. Soul, a little bit of an interesting pick, kind of saw those mage ADCs fall off after, kind of their entire build got nerfed. So not the
Yeah.
worst pick, but certainly interesting to see.
Well, Soul's that interesting one who I feel like, comparatively to the other mage ADCs, you can build her full ability-based damage, and she will still just shred towers, because that's just what her passive does. Now you just have abilities on top of it that deal a significant amount of damage. Cool, let me just throw my 2 at you for a quarter to a third of your health bar. Let me drop my ultimate and land every single one of those hits, and there goes your entire HP bar. You know, she's a character who can just do a lot that you don't really look at, in my opinion, for being able to do these different build styles. We mostly see these mage ADCs build like a mage ADC.
Yeah, definitely can't get away with just kind of building that full power, still just utilizing that heat, get that extra attack speed regardless, and say, oh, you left your tower for 30 seconds? My tower.
Well, yeah, I mean, go full power and then you just build that, what was it, Nimble Bancroft's Talon? So congrats, now your power is converted into
Attack speed.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, you haven't built a single attack speed item. You get your passive, you get that, and you're capped on attack speed because why not?
Couple changes here in the second phase of bans. We see the Thor and the Agni getting removed. Odin's Headhunters not wanting to go against either of those picks again for the Ice Age. And a Persephone is going to get hovered for them. Never mind a Bake Kajura. Okay.
All right. They're just locking in gods they can't pick or shouldn't pick,
Yeah, they're going to throw the whale over in the ADC. That's their new pick for today.
Poor Persephone. What a fall from grace. Gets the passive changed, and it has just been irrelevant for so long.
We say that, and now we're going to see her at Worlds or something, and she's going to be like the most meta thing possible, because that's what Worlds does. It just brings out some random pick.
And I know you're still holding out on that Osiris.
No, honestly, I think here's my honest opinion for who's going to be the pick at Worlds this year. Hera.
I respect Hera.
Yep.
I think Hera's one of those gods that only a couple people can get away with, you know?
Yep. And I
You throw
feel
that
like
on
they're all
Paul,
going to be
Paul
on
will do
Worlds.
it. He doesn't care. Yeah, I'll play
I,
Hera. I'll frag out.
I feel like Paul, Baskin, somebody's going to pull out the Hera, and I'm feeling it in the back. I'll get back to you on that one afterwards. Yu Hang is the lock in for the Odin's Headhunters here in the second phase, and a Poseidon lock in over for Ice Age. This one got banned away in game number one, in phase number two of game number one. But you have the lockdown with the Ganesha. Well, looking over at the other side, I actually don't see too much of what this Poseidon is going to be getting on top of. Yu Hang's going to bees and then go up into the air and avoid that. Geb's going to be, well, a Geb. I guess you can lock down the tanks and burst them and blow them up and see what you can do right there. Wheelix is the final lock in for the Ice Age, which I guess you just follow up off of the ultimate of the Chalk, the ultimate of the Poseidon, the Ganesha, knock up. But other than that, you're going to be your own setup. And there's nothing wrong with that because Wheelix is really a character who does very well on her own and gets better with team synergy.
Yeah, definitely a strong god for sure. I mean, Gravity Surge has a ridiculous cooldown. I use it for the stim half the time.
Oh, yeah.
I just don't want to be knocked up. I'm chilling.
Feel like you're new to a Wheelix if you only use it to pluck. You're good at a Wheelix once you realize that I can use this for anything.
Mm-hmm. Just
You know what?
any point in time. Oh, I need to win this boxing fight. All right, I'm popping my. Oh, it's a big old stim.
Sort of getting locked in for the final slot for the Odin's Headhunters, and that's a sort of jungle, isn't it?
That is a Surtur jungle. I don't hate it. I just
I
don't
don't
love
like
it
it.
either.
Yeah.
Like I understand that some people can play it and be good with it, but the god just doesn't make sense in my hands.
Yeah,
When
I
I
can't
do it,
say
I'm hitting people with like a feather. When they do it, they're hitting me with a brick. I don't know. It just don't work like that for me.
one thing I can say is, you can build him again in a lot of different ways, but the way I'm looking at this is Soul is going to be kind of your shredding character, Yu Hang's going to be your bursting character. So Surtur's able to fit really any role. I don't think I would mind seeing him be a second solo style, go with a more hybrid style build. At the same time, the auto attack build really works nicely on him. You're able to just get in there and blow somebody up, but when you're getting on top of a Ganesha, Poseidon, how fast are you really going to be blowing anybody up?
Um, so you're not gonna be doing it too fast if you stay alive, you know? That's the problem. You have to find that kind of sweet spot between being tanky enough to not just instantly die to, haha, I threw a kraken at my feet. So yeah, I think I could see a little bit more of a tanky build come out, you know. Maybe start off a little strong, you know, grab that crusher, grab, an early power item, and then say, I want arch druids. I want a stone of binding, and just be tanky but also deal a ton of damage.
I'm going to be honest about something I wanted to see when I looked at the Ice Ages draft and what I wanted to see in this final slot for the Odin's Headhunters. I wanted to see something like a Daji. Okay, you're lacking CC immunity from Nova Shark on this Poseidon, from Talon Reese on this Ganesha. You're able to just get these kind of free plucks off. Something like Daji has knock-up immunity. Probably would synergize with the displacement and the ability to pair up with the Hercules and then the lockdown from the Geb. So I am interested to see what this kind of pick will provide, being that it's something that needs to get in the face of the Poseidon and the Ganesha and the Chalk, and yeah. So it's going to be interesting nonetheless.
Yeah, certainly not the easiest team comp for the headhunters to pull off, you know. There's a lot that has to go right for them. Meanwhile, Ice Age is just looking to just kind of hit you with a silence until you're dead. Oh,
Yeah,
you got Ganesha ohmed into a chalk a storm call, you're just done. I'm sorry, you're not moving properly until you're dead.
let's be honest, this is just a follow up from game number one where everybody wants to brawl. That's exactly what these team fights tell me is everybody just wants to brawl and fight and get in each other's face and be a nuisance, and that's really all I see is we're going to be fighting again for another 37 minutes. That's how long game 1 was, something like that.
Something like that.
But we're going to find out because we are moving in to game number 2 here. Ice Age versus Odin's Headhunters. Will this be the end of the Odin's Headhunters season, or will they take us to game number 3? We're going to find out real soon to see if somebody's going to finals right now.
Yeah, at the very least, you finally see your mannequins in the duo lane going to be on the Soul instead of a Sylvanas, but, you know, better something than nothing.
You know what, though? Sometime this year, I will see a Carapace Shard.
I love
Promise.
Carapace Shard so much.
Oh,
it's
God.
so good.
I talk about this all the time, and Awilix is my favorite user of Carapace Shard.
Awilix,
Every time I see this
Loki,
pick.
Naja. There's a lot of picks that use it really well. I think Sylvanas uses it really well. I don't know why you would get anything other than Carapace on Sylvanas.
No, I get mannequins and then Wing Shard, and then just destroy my wave with my ADC.
Oh, but what if you were hitting them for true damage?
Yeah, burn autos. That's true damage. Right? Something like that?
No, I think that's affected by defense.
Yeah. Some nice Poco 9. I don't think you want to be feather stepping into that, though, although you are very fortunate that Asserter does not have any mana. Almost in a difficult position was Fuego Maego, but he's going to be able to get away no problem, as it looks like the 2 members of Odin's Headhunters have a wave to deal with.
Yeah, that wave certainly does put in a lot of numbers. Low health bars in this mid lane. Fuego wasn't looking too good, but after some potions, he's just fine.
God. I remember the start of the season when everything was Carapace Shard. I just keep thinking of Carapace Shard.
it's
Carapace
so
Shard,
good. I don't know why
beloved.
people
Yeah.
don't use it. My beloved.
It's that meme with the lock. It opens up and it's just Carapace Shard for me.
It's just Carapace Shard.
Carapace Shard, my beloved. Shield buff going the way of the Odin's Headhunters, and a little bit of a gank attempt over here in the solo lane.
Certainly looking for something. Trying to find this Hercules.
Gonna get on into the tower, getting out 1 HP though. Unable to lock down. It is a Hercules in the early game. If you don't get him when he's on cooldown, you're getting shoved into a tower as he's running away.
Yeah, I mean, shoved into towers is an understatement, barely surviving with their lives. You know, another 2 tower shots, and we might have seen a double kill for Kaio, so. Not really going to be able to get too much done into that Hercules early.
This is exactly what I expect to have over in the dual lane, though. Okay, well, we're just going to roll out. Well, I'm just going to silence. Any initiation that you want to do, I'm just going to knock you up. It's like, okay. This is the Ganesha versus Geb,
no.
yeah.
Oh, you want to press buttons? No, we're not doing that right now.
The fortunate
you wanted
thing,
to clear
though,
wave, stellar burst.
Right. The fortunate thing that Odin's Headhunters have is they have this soul pick to apply a lot of pressure to the lane. Look at those. The bastions are already gone. Next thing that's going to be targeted is your tower. If you walk away unprepared, she'll burn it. She'll take it, no problem.
Oh yeah, won't even hesitate. Just no items, none required. Just knock down that tower in no time flat.
Yeah, isn't that fun? There's no items and you can just walk in there and take that with ease.
I think that's fair.
Right.
Warlock's getting a little cheeky invade, knocking down the spirit camp, whatever you want to call that. I still haven't thought of a good name. It's not totem. It's like,
yeah, they call them totems.
Do they?
Yeah.
I'd have to look back. I thought they were like
almost certain. You're gonna make me look now.
Tikis or something. I can't remember.
Yeah, the tiki cam. There you go. I'm gonna look it up. Basically. You keep talking. I'm looking.
Okay.
I gotta find out.
I'll let
now.
you get the info. I'll let you get the
yeah.
info. Geb looking to get things done, not able to get it. Production informing me that is the shaman camp. That sounds a little bit better. Surtur going to halt all of this initiation. Bing bong. Throw down the Dharmic pillars. Surtur is here. And he just gets a lot done. He just walks in and just hits Apocalypse Place for 2/3 of his health.
Yeah, nobody really committing to any anything too much here. The Dharmic Pillars was good peel, and that was seemed to be all Talon Reese had remaining in his tank as he's out of mana. But Chalk, though, getting in here. Scopy seeing if he can take away a first blood. Gonna get pushed back in. I don't think that's what you want to be doing. You want to get yourself away. Scopy ends up securing first blood for Ice Age.
I'm pretty sure he died to archers.
Yeah.
I don't think that was
OP.
Bluestone. I think that was archers. I think the phalanx boosted archers did it to him.
Yeah,
Such a goofy item. I love that item.
I'm so happy to see it 2 days in a row. Seeing if they can get a little bit of a cleanup was popping. Like, never mind. Just seeing who was over here, and now he's going to get some poke off against Fuego Maego in the solo side jungle. I don't think you're able to go for a gank attempt here, Scopy, but you know what? It's a good attempt. Ult comes out from the Hercules now, finding himself in a little bit of danger, gets knocked up, but the wall is there to be his saving grace. Trying to do his best to get away, runs right into Talon Reese, getting himself on out of there. Now the Hercules is in a lot of danger, gets plucked by that gravity surge, but one goes down first. Fuego Maego ends up dropping and Scopy ends up picking up Kaio. The fight is still going on though, as the Geb is now here to try to save his Surtur, but so is Yu Huang. And it looks like King Balrus's rotation is going to find Scopy 2 for 2 over here. Both solos and jungles fall.
All right, so we're just running game one back. We're going for the just all-out brawl. I respect it. I respect it. 2 for 2, long extended fight. Kind of a 3 for 2, you know. Scopy does pick up that kill right at the start. And then, you know, Kaio has enough time to come back and get himself dead yet again. That was an interesting one. Scopy putting on a pretty significant lead though, about a level and a half, 2 levels, looking to go into what I'm assuming is a transcendence.
Yeah, difference is almost negligible though. When you're looking at the rest of the map, you know, you have that level and a half over on Scopy, but you got a half a level over on this Surtur, you got a half a level on the Yu Huang, you have a half a level on Xenophonics on this Soul. So it just, I guess it just evens out in a way.
It does, you know, big picture wise, negligible.
Right. I almost want to see Ice Age apply the pressure over there to Scopy, seeing if they could get this Chalk to have a little bit more of a lead maybe and get his rotation moving across the map, because I don't think you're ganking a Soul really anytime soon.
Yeah, I don't think he's forced out in this mid lane. Yu Huang also going to expend that ultimate, look for a little bit of safety. Surtur coming in, looking for it. Good Kraken going to stop that. Bing, bang, boom. Nova Shark, a little bit of bad position, but able to pick himself up a kill on the diving Surtur. Geb just off the mark of that feather step. Looking to live just a little bit longer. Yu Huang doing everything he can to save his support. Will it be enough? It will.
She feather stepped the wave.
Yep.
No.
Yep. He dies 10 times out of 10 if the feather step hits.
Oh, wow. I have a lot of words for what just happened.
Is tragic at the top? I hope tragic's at the top.
Extremely. And I think one of the big things that I wanted to say was, this is what I kind of expected when you pick the Surtur. You need to be diving a Poseidon and a Ganesha, and I just don't see it working out too well. Yeah, when you need to pick those kind of gods.
He dove Poseidon under tower and just got krakened into a tidal wave and died. I do love Hercules ulting to clear wave. That is the tech.
Hey man, if I gotta get a back off, I'm ulting wave any day. I don't care what lane I'm in. Now, Poseidon, what are you doing over here? How did he get here? How did Nova Shark get here?
Apparently he was chased out by the Surtur. Surtur looking to land in, but you don't got no health, buddy. You should have ran.
Papa Nike just kind of unable to find a footing here on this Surtur pick. Now it looks like the blue buff is going to get eyed from the members of Ice Age. And these is here. I got to keep looking back because the supports switched their picks. And so it's like, I got to make sure I'm looking at the right one. You have to think about it a little bit. Yeah. Nice driving strike. It looks like Wheelik's in a difficult position, but Fuego Maego is going to get the jump on out. And they did secure the blue buff on top of it.
I was really hoping for Geb with a kill. There's nothing better than Geb with a kill. He's just such a big hard rock guy, you know.
It's always fun too when it's like a maxed out rollout that ends up colliding with somebody and finishing them off.
Bro, rollout hurts so much early game. I wish people leveled it more.
Yeah, but
It,
why
it hits
would
like an actual nuke.
the problem is like why would you level that when you can level your shield? For
Or,
an
you know, like,
actual support
the knockup.
perspective? Right, yeah.
Like, every other ability is better to level up early, but, like,
Ooh.
what if I didn't?
Unfortunate. It felt like King Balros wanted something there, but the rest of his team just wasn't in the position to get on top of that Poseidon.
He's just making sure he knows he's there, you know?
Yeah.
You
Here's a
can't
little bit of
walk
poke.
anywhere. You're not walking
Damage check,
anywhere.
yeah.
Hmm.
He's got to know how much he does to his lane opponent. Here's what's interesting, though, is that Chalk picked up a Transcendence in the second item slot.
Yep. He got his lead and he said, I'm getting a Transcendence. It doesn't even scale his heal anymore. Like, it's certainly not the play, but it certainly makes him hit harder. And hit harder he will. Surtur in a little bit of trouble. Gravity Surge into death. Going to be taken off the map. 2 ult expended for it, Dharmic Pillars and that Gravity Surge, but can't complain, and it looks like... nah, we're not interested in the Gold Fury. We just got to get more kills.
Do you, I gotta ask, do you think this Surtur's having a good time right now?
No, I don't.
I don't think so either. And now it looks like, again, gotta look, D's is getting a bit of a danger. I keep wanting to say Talon Reese because of game number 1. Or I want to say that Talon Reese is D's. And ooh, mounted archery running in on top of the soul, seeing if you could get a little bit of something, but it looks like Xenophonics is going to pick that one up because you're eating soul autos the entire time, my friend, and she already has mannequins, Bancrofts, and that Telekines. But now a blink in from Fuego Maego, seeing if he could get a little bit of a cleanup. No way do you get away with this. Unable to find the auto attack to get the feather step off, or he was trying to get to it. I don't know, but either way, he doesn't get anything, jumps back on in, and ends up eating a tower shot. And now here comes this sort of Papa Nike end up landing on down, but it doesn't matter because Xenophonics has that one all day. The minion wave, plus the burn of the mannequins. No sweat, no problem.
That's the problem with Soul. You know, she has this lifesteal coming out of the Telekines and the Bancrofts. The absolute, like, you know, 100 power from Bancroft's passive, because she was so low, just absolutely, like, 2 shots via Willix from about that half health mark.
Yeah, I think that Fuego Maego is realizing this is the one lane I don't want to go to because I don't think you can do anything to this soul. If you didn't do anything in the early game, you didn't shut her down early, now she's just at the point in the game where it's like, all right, where can we mitigate our losses and honestly just push our lead? And I think that's Scopy in the solo lane. Can we get this Chalk to a point where he gets his stacks online with his trans? We can get him to rotate across the map, and now we have this presence of a head Chalk rotating out of the map, applying the kind of pressure that we need.
Yeah, Fed Shock certainly would be really strong for them to start rotating out, and I mean, he's already doing pretty well in his stacks.
Yeah, not bad. Already up to 37.
My brain couldn't tell if that was 17 or 37. I was
that
struggling.
is very much a 3. Yeah.
It's hard. I still
It's
can't
hard
see
out
it
here.
worth nothing. There, yeah, 42. Yep, I can see that one. I can see the 4.
There we go.
Just
Yeah,
brain malfunctioning, seeing a 3.
Should just be one more wave and you'll get that done. Oh, wave plus 1. So no sweat there. He's in a very good position. I mean, both solos trying to set up a proxy right now, which means I'm expecting a rotation for this Gold Fury. The unfortunate part, he's going to be at 49 on the rotation. So
That's fine. He'll find something on his way.
I hope he finds nothing. Just out of principle.
Same.
I want him to rotate into the fight at 49 stacks, but he's going to get the next wave. He ended up delaying his back long enough. Is going to get pinged out, though. Papa Nike making the rotation on in, but that Shark's got 3 levels on you. I really don't know if there's a whole lot you can do by yourself, and your team is a little bit further behind. King Balor's making the rotation in right now, and there comes that ultimate from the Chalk.
He's just gone.
Yep, that's just
What do you
Chalk.
do about it? Surtur, stop taking this fight. You're not winning. I promise.
Jumping on in. Fuego Maego trying to get the cleanup pick on top of Papa Nikes, he get away with this? No, he doesn't, right? The blink is expended. Back on the Suku. Back gets stunned. Jumps back in. Finally gets the knockup. Fuego Maego gets Papa Nike. And Nova Shark ends up finding Kaio as well. 2 members down now for the Odin's Headhunters. And the Ice Age are taking a commanding point in this fight. Gravity Surge is good onto the Yu Huang. Double Relics popped. And now King Balrus is running away. Seeing if he could get out. And he does exactly that. Really good knockup from D's. Just peeling for his mid lane.
Yeah, we do see the TP back in from the chalk, still looking for more. Not going to be able to get his kill, unfortunately. He was hungry though. He was hungry.
Get out of here, you gremlin. Get out of my jungle.
And as the story goes, do you think that Papa Nike's having a good time on this starter?
1 in 5, 15 minutes. No, but he did tone down from his 4 deaths in 10 minutes to 1 death in 5 minutes, and now Xenophonics. This is what I expected. You get this chalk rotating across the map. Now what does the soul do? Now we can apply the pressure over here. King Balrus does find Nova Sharks, though, so there goes your secure on this Gold Fury if you wanted to even look towards that objective. And now Hachiman in a very difficult position. Pakos is going to have to use the ultimate defensively to get himself on out of there. Low HP bars on both sides, right, of this fight. And a nice dash for Kaio, seeing if he could get something. That Dharmic Pillars does get dropped to get a lot of bit damage actually off onto Kaio. He's going to walk away though because he's a Hercules. So
Scopy was 1v3 for like 20 seconds and he didn't lose health.
You know
Why
what?
is Chalk like this?
It's 2 games in a row now where Scopy's just in the back line of the Odin Headhunters, just 1v3ing, and they can't do anything about it, and there he goes.
But game 1, they did something about it. He was 1 in 5 at the start, you know? His stat line wasn't looking too hot.
Oh man, which one do you chase? Do you chase the real Chalk, or do you just stand by the axe?
I think you just have to say, man, he got away, didn't he?
He got away.
Yeah, he's fine.
Yeah, and then he's just going to push the 3 button and heal it all right back up. You ready? Let's look at this health bar go.
I mean, it doesn't scale off of his power anymore, so it could be worse.
It's good 10-15%. Not bad. Now he goes back to Fountain and gets the 100%, but you know what? That's fine. That's fine. Nobody took the Gold Fury, which means we're still sitting at this, 3K mark between these 2 teams? Yeah.
Yeah, sitting right around that 3K mark. A lot of it is off the back of this Chalk, though. Just, what is he, 6-1? 6-1.
Yeah, 6-1. Not bad. And he is going to be going for a hammer in this next slot. Talon Reese coming in, getting a little bit of damage off, helping out his ADC. Pakos is going to pick up the kill on a Xenophonics. Now without an ADC, I expect the Gold Fury to get looked at. You have 2 people over in the solo lane for, well, your team as well.
Oh, he died. The shutdown.
That's a
Papa
really good
Nike's back
shutdown.
in the game. He's dead even now. A single kill is all it took.
No way!
Geb stole. Geb stole. Cracking off the mark. Geb picking that one up, and that is simply unfortunate.
My jaw was dropped a little bit. I'm going to be honest. I just didn't know what to say.
That one hurt to watch. That one hurt to watch. You're not wrong. Did feel like I got punched in the mouth.
Huh. And Odin's Headhunters take away the beacon, and this game's just evened right back out. I just...
Yeah. 2,500 to 1,500 in a blink of an eye. No, that was close to like 3,300 right before Scopy died. Just a tough one to deal with, you know.
We're going to move into a quick
Lose the
intermission.
trade and then boom.
Yeah. We're going to move into a quick intermission. We'll be right back momentarily with game number 2 here in the semifinals of Ice Age versus the Odin Headhunters. And we're back with game number 2 of Ice Age versus the Odin's Headhunters here in the semifinals. Pyromancer getting absolutely shredded by the members of the Odin's Headhunters. You get the Gold Fury, you get the Beacon, you get the Pyromancer. This game is back to neutral.
Yeah, less than 1,000 lead 20 minutes in. That is absolutely nothing. That's the difference of a couple wards, so not going to be too compelling on either side. Do see this Surtur opting for a little bit more of that tanky build like we were talking about. Got the Glad Shield, got the Genjis. Not the Genjis. My bad, the
Onis,
Oni
there you
Hunter's
go.
Guard.
Yeah.
Took me a second to think about that.
I'm almost wondering if he got that glyph a little bit too early, or probably just would have opted for a different glyph entirely. But he does end up getting that Jotun's glyph. I think I wanted to see maybe more of a Magi's. Something that will allow him to just keep up the pressure, and then you get that Magi's glyph getting in the back line.
But what if you build the funny item?
Runeforged.
No, better than Runeforged.
Better than Runeforged. Ooh.
Dawnbringer. I love
Okay,
Dawnbringer
let's not
so
talk
much.
about Dawnbringer in this
Dawnbringer,
household.
my beloved.
Cannoneers, my beloved.
Cannoneers is so bad. It's irredeemably bad, and I wish it wasn't. It's such a cool concept, but it's just awful.
A little bit of a 1v1 trade going between the ADCs over in the duo lane. You got that dash away, but I don't think he realizes that Papa Nike is lurking in the jungle. Oh, he did cross a ward. Never mind. He realizes entirely that somebody else is here. And a teleport in from Scopey, though, coming in for a gank now to return. The mounted archery is ready. He's going to be dashing on in here. Never mind. Papa Nike ended up coming in, and now it looks like there's a warrior on each of these ADCs. And this Surtur's winning out in the end. Ends up forcing the mounted archery, and now it looks like Scopey's in a very difficult position. The Cataclysm is good, locking him down, and now you are getting absolutely burned down by the fire of... Oh, no. Yep, there
It's
there
just
goes
a
that.
chalk.
It's just a chalk, yeah. Ends up landing. Here comes the Kraken, and it's huge on the two members of the Odin's Headhunters. Huge displacement setting them off. Dude, look at the low HP bars over here from the Odin's Headhunters. Fuego Maego ends up coming in and killing Papa Nike. And now the flight's completely turned on the head of the Odin's Headhunters.
Hey, what? Why is Scopey alive? Why is he still running at people? Guys? King Balrus at least going to pick up one, taking down the low health Fuego. But this is just tough to watch, you know. Scopey able to get out from certain death and picking himself up yet another kill. I respect this.
I guess if you died over on... Or, well, he didn't even die. He ulted away and then just tried to go somewhere and ended up over here.
That's pretty base.
Yeah.
I'm not going to kill this guy. I'm not going to kill this guy.
Do either of them really kill the other, though?
No. I mean, maybe Kyo, if he like lands like 6 ability rotations in a row, gets a kill, but
Right.
I don't see that happening.
And then all of a sudden, that's when mounted archery comes back up and he just ults away, and then you're like, yep, okay, well, that was a fun 30 seconds of my time that I could have spent farming against this level 20 Hachiman.
Yeah, not gonna be able to get quite as much as you might like there. Do start to see a grouping coming out around this Gold Fury.
And team's setting up and very ready. We have ultimates ready on both sides, relics ready on both sides. I don't see any problem taking this fight. The only thing I see is that Geb doesn't have a second relic, but that's perfectly fine. I mean, you're coming into this. Now it looks like the Odin's Headhunters actually is going to pick it up right away. They're wanting to keep their objective spree. 2 members are nowhere near the vicinity, but there is a Kraken ready. However, Papa Nike's doing a really good job of zoning him out. There's the Kraken, sorry. And now they have no objective secure. Odin's Headhunters are going to just take that one right away, but Pakos is going to find Kaio, who is zoning him out. Trade of ultimates here from the Geb and the Hachiman. Pakos is going to find himself getting absolutely out of there. Yeah, I wouldn't want to be anywhere near that.
Yeah, going to pick one up. Chalk looking to get a little bit done on this back end. Beads forced out of this Geb. Looking for more, but not finding
Surely
too
he
much
dies
success.
this time.
He has to die here. There's no other reasonable explanation.
Why is he so fast?
Why is he
put
still
this man
alive?
into the-
D's,
There we go,
yeah,
goes the
Geb with a
D's. Let's
kill.
go. And now it looks like Talon Reese might have stuck around for a little bit too long, but maybe that was Papa Nike who stuck around a little bit too long as Pockles finds that one.
Yeah, Pockle's an absolute menace on this Hachi, getting it done. Loses most of his health bar to King Walrus on this Yu Huang. Fuego, though, picking up Dees, avenging his solo laner.
Fuego's back, in case you couldn't tell. Jumps into the Yu Huang, just gonna jump on out himself. Aegis forced on Xenophonics. Very low HP bars, though. Pockles isn't too healthy. Now neither is Fuego Maego. Jumps into the two members and gets that feather step off. Fuego Maego ends up getting Xenophonics. And now the Ganesha is back, able to support for his team. And they're going to pick up that beacon, no problem, that they've been... No, I'm not going to say it. I'm not going to say it.
You can never talk about the beacon.
You know
it
what?
It just doesn't work. It worked one time last game, and...
I'm going to wait till it's done.
All right. Ice Age, beacon.
And there
Let's
we go.
go.
Now the beacon is going to get completed by the Ice Age. I can't talk. We don't talk about beacon in this household.
Can't. You just can never say it. They'll prove you wrong immediately.
They will. It's literally a curse where as soon as I mention the word beacon, everybody walks in the opposite direction.
Mm-hmm.
And I can't stand it. I feel like they're listening in on the cast and they're like, he said beacon, go away. I'm like, no, guys, hello?
Maybe we just kind of start camouflaging it. Maybe instead of beacon, we just call out our great spectator Deacon. You know, it's like the same thing.
It's not the same. I want beacon, not... I'm kidding. I love you, Deacon. Fire Giant getting picked up by the Ice Age, but Odin Scent Hunters are nearby. The Kraken's going to come out very early on top of the Hercules, and now Kaio's trying his best to get away, but finding himself a lot low on the HP bar. Pockles is going to end up finishing that one off. Sorter going up in the air as he's locked into the Dharmic Pillars by Talon Reese, making his way to his backline, trying to peel this chalk off from being an absolute menace to his carries. Might be in a very difficult position now, though, because, yeah, you're not the tankiest here. You're not the squishiest, but, yeah, Nova Shark's going to end up cleaning that one up.
Yeah, unfortunately, you know, Papa Nike not able to really get going along with Kaio, just going to fall early in this fight, and it looks like that could be the Fire Giant. Still to be determined. Yu Huang looking for a little bit of something. Will he grab a kill? Will he grab a steal?
Unbelievable!
Like
the Fire Giant goes the way
steal.
of the Odin's Headhunters. Yeah, it could be a Fire Giant, but it's a Fire Giant for the Odin's Headhunters. All right. So, no, and Dees gets Fuego Maego.
Deserved. You blinked in front of a Geb. You deserve it. Just going to hit that 2-4 button real quick. Claim my kill as I get on back to the fountain. Might be in grayscale, but at the very least, you do have the kill.
What am I watching?
I don't
Titan's
know.
1v1 over in the duo lane, but it looks like the Odin's Headhunter Titan does come out on top.
Yeah, Chaos Titan does win those ones.
He's
Hands
hit
are
a
a little
minion
bit
wave, that's why.
spicier.
Yeah. Now a lock in on the Surtur inside the Dharmic Pillars. Every time I see the Surtur go in, there's a Dharmic Pillars right in the middle of him. And
There
Papa
is.
Nike is going to end up getting Talon Reese, but Scopey gets Papa Nike. That's kind of what happens when you're going in for that kill. I don't think you needed to. Let's be honest. You want to play your life maybe a little bit. Now just kind of a trade right now. Kraken comes out though, and it looks like Kaio is going to end up falling. Not sure what happened there, but he ate the full brunt of that one.
Yeah, Whirlpool really does stop that driving strike, you know, pretty well. You know, doesn't allow you to get that movement off.
That Titan's still alive.
The Titan's doing work. That Titan was going for glory. And this game is still closer than I'd like it to be. Headhunters, you know, avoid disaster stealing that FG, but still not quite back into the game.
Look at this graph. It goes up and then it just shoots down, and then it goes up and then it just jumps down, and then it's like, all right, slowly making its way in the favor of Ice Age, but
Chalk moment. Goes for the spin, and it's just going to teleport him right back to the blue buff.
God, we had one earlier in the season that I was watching where we had a Chalk who threw his one out at the tower line early in the game of his opponent, walked over to go and hit the wave, smacked the wave a few times, spun, and then got sent into the tower line, ate a
Yeah.
tower shot, and ended up dying.
That sounds about right. That sounds par for the course. You're always like, no, it'll disappear. I don't have to worry about it. It did not disappear. Get beads forced out, looking a little scared.
Yeah, that storm call was expended trying to see if he could get something, but ultimately not really getting a whole lot of anything. Geb's going to be Geb. Kraken comes out onto nobody, and so does the Dharmic Pillars. A lot of ultimates get expended by Ice Age for a whole lot of nothing. Oelix here on the back line as well. Driving Strike forces her off. And it honestly looks like Odin's Headhunters are in a decent position in this fight. Chalk finding himself in a difficult position. Scopey is going to get have to force himself back to base. Papa Nike hasn't been in this fight at all.
Guys,
now
what are we doing? Why are we pulling
this? Getting picked up by the Ice Age. Papa Nike goes up into the air. Lands down on the Poseidon, forces the Aegis from Novashark and the beads as well. This Chalk is still running through the fight. Pakos ends up getting Papa Nike though because he landed in. Really without anybody else. Fuego Maego finds Xenophonics. Now the low HP bars are in the Odin's Headhunters pockets. Speaking of pockets, Pakos ends up finding Pink Balrus. And it looks like Deez is making his way on out, but Fuego Maego is going to pick him up. No problem. Tier 2 tower now getting looked at in the middle lane.
They can't keep getting away with this. They can't keep getting away with this.
Oh, Papa, it feels like... Okay. And we'll say this flat
They're
out.
going to win the game here.
No way. Oh, yeah, there's
They win the game
seconds.
here. They have 2 bombs. This is so sad.
This is the way that the semifinals going down. Kraken is dropped on top of the Titan of the Odin's Headhunters, getting it down to about 50% HP. Kaio is doing his best to try to defend it, but it is not enough. Game 2 goes the way of Ice Age, and that's going to be the set. And here we have your final finalist here in the Frank's Retirement League.
So I know Pakos didn't have the most, like, wow, insane plays, but can we look at his damage? He's like 15k over the next guy. He is absolutely just bashing these tank players' heads in. 44k. No one's even close.
Yeah. What I was going to say there before the end call came out from the Ice Age, I need to say it. I feel like the dive was not on the same page for the Odin's Headhunters. Papa Nike and Kaio just did not feel like they were on the same page. One was forward, one was back, the other one was ulting in, the other one was back. They weren't going on the same targets, and it really showed when one would go in and just get picked off, and then the other would go in and get picked off. I mean, you look at the slash lines of these two players. You got a 1-7 Hercules, you got a 4-10 Surtur. Comparing to the other death counts of the rest of the team, we're wanting to see a little bit more of these two working together.
Yeah, I mean, they really had a good, trifecta of engage with Geb, Surtur, Herc, and we just don't see it utilized as well as it could have been. They're not as coordinated as I might like, so not able to quite get it done as much as they might like to. Do get to see Ice Age move on with a pretty convincing 2-0 going into their finals.
Well, absolutely. I mean, anytime they got dove, what would happen? They would get Dharmic Pillars. There would be Kraken at the foot of whoever decided to come in. Pakos was just shredding anybody down. Meanwhile, Scopey's running the back line of the Odin's Headhunters, and Fuego Maego would just come in for the cleanups that junglers definitely love to see. Oh, low HP bar over here. Let me get that one. Oh, there's a carry all by himself over here. Let me just clean that one up. It felt like the ball was in the court of the Ice Age. As much as Odin's Headhunters had some good plays, had some good calls where they took objectives out from under the feet of the Ice Age, or they just went and were able to get a nice team fight and go in for the objectives in general. All in all, it's Ice Age. Look at Talon Reese here, who I have not been talking about. 0-1-27.
Yeah, no, nobody gets even close to his kill participation on the rest of the team.
Yeah, if you want to talk about how well a team was playing together, just look at that slash line and it says it all.
Support holding everything together. I mean, everywhere he needed to be and then some. Dropping some extra wards. We do see Scopey drop a fat 0 between 2 games.
Solo lane brain.
Solo lane brain, baby.
Lane brain.
I need wards to teleport to. I'm not dropping them myself.
Yeah, you guys place the wards for me, and I'm just gonna TP around the map, no sweat. So that is gonna do it for us here in the semifinal set. Ice Age is gonna make their way on into the finals next week, where they are facing off against Bodega Hive, if I am correct. I am correct. I
Yep.
am correct.
Bodega
Facing off
Hive in
against
the finals,
Bodega
both-
Hive.
both
Yes.
divisions.
So, thank you all for coming out. I'm Zach Vexel. Joining me was Ruler of Men, and over on our spectate was Deacon. We had a great time, and we will see you guys for finals later on this week. You have a good night.